Okay, so one of our viewers told me to check out this video from US Senator Adam Schiff. It's from a few months ago, but I finally sat down and watched it. And yeah, I've got some thoughts. Because the message he's trying to deliver, let's just say it didn't land the way I think he hoped it would. Or maybe because 2 months have already passed and there's even more damage done since he created the video. Some of you might have already seen it. If not, I'll be reviewing it in this video. But spoiler alert, this one left me cringing a bit. Let's take a look, and I'll break down exactly why this kind of messaging doesn't work for Canadians, or frankly, for anyone outside the US echo chamber.
So tonight I want to talk to Canada about Canada. I would say my feelings toward our neighbor to the north were best summarized by President John F. Kennedy on his first trip out of the United States as president.
Geography has made us neighbors. History has made us friends. Economics has made us partners. And necessity has made us allies. Those whom nature has so joined together, let no man put asunder.
Let no man tear asunder. Sadly, today, one man has torn that relationship asunder, and that's what I want to talk about today.
Before I get into this, I guess I need to start dropping disclaimers now. Some comments lately have said, I don't speak for all Canadians. Fair enough, I don't. I've never claimed to. Everything I say here is my opinion. If you agree, great. If you don't, that's your call. Watch it, skip it. Whatever works for you. Now, Adam, you're right about one thing. One man did damage the Canada-US relationship. But let's not pretend he did it alone. He had 77 million US citizens behind him, cheering him on. The 51st state rhetoric, the annexation threats, the arrogance, the looking down on Canada, it didn't just come from Donald. It came from the people who gave him that power.
We're looking forward to having you as our 51st state.
I didn't really do much research, so I can't make comment, but I just trust Trump. Whatever Trump does, I'm going to take his word and go with it. He's the best guy on the planet.
What's the heart of the deal?
With our Canadian friends, our 51st state.
Well, you'll have the opportunity to become the 51st state. Ah!
These Trump supporters are where the real problem starts. Not just with Donald, but with the people who put him there, 77 million of them. So it isn't just one person. These are the same folks who couldn't be bothered to fact-check a tweet, who blindly repeated whatever he said, and who still cling to every word like it's gospel. As Donald said, he loves the poorly educated. They didn't just enable the chaos. We're living in it because of them. And that smug attitude toward Canada? I'll just call it as it is, but that's been around long before he showed up. Canadians have just tolerated it up until now. Adam rolls a clip of Canadians sharing kind words about the US. Before all the chaos, before the betrayal. Let's watch it together. And after it's done, take note of how you feel after the compilation is done.
Because I remember vividly in October of 2016, I remember like it was yesterday, when Americans were first starting to question who we were and where we were headed. I remember that Canadians put together a beautiful video, a video of Canadians describing the great things that America had done, the things that we had invented, the contributions we were making to the world. I remember watching that video and how it made me feel about being an American. And I'd like you to take a look at what you had to say, Canada.
But as you're thinking about your future, we just want you to know that
You guys are great.
you really are great. You invented the internet.
You guys are going to get humanity to Mars.
Your national park systems protect some of the most beautiful places on Earth.
All your diversity and all your openness.
The fact that you're such a giving nation, over $250 billion a year is donated to charities.
So wonderful and warm and accommodating.
When things are tough, you fight to make them better. The disability rights movement in America is amazing.
You are infectious, entertaining.
Your gift to the world of jazz music.
Bluegrass music, R&B.
Biggie and Pac. And
political and social activism.
forging new paths.
You dream big.
Your quest to be the best creates the best.
A land of opportunity where anyone can be anything they want to be.
The vibrancy and diversity and the idea that we can all live together.
You know, America, I think you're already great.
You're great, America.
We all love you, and we think you've always been great.
Thanks, America. I think you're great. Stay great, America.
I want you to take in this compilation of Canadians talking about the US. Now ask yourself, how many of them would say the same thing today? Because for me, it's hard to watch. Not because they're wrong, but because I remember when that was the tone. We did have something decent with the US, enough that Canadians could call them friends without hesitation. And now, hearing those same words just makes me sick. Not because of those Canadians, but because of how fast it all fell apart. In just a matter of months, the relationship cracked wide open. Tariffs, threats, annexation talk, and now we're expected to pretend it never happened? That trust is gone, and the true colors of the 77 million US citizens came out. And no speech, not from Adam, not from any US governor, not even from everyday citizens, is going to fix that. Again, this is my opinion. So if you're about to angry type in the comments saying, I don't speak for all Canadians, save your energy. I know I don't. Let's keep watching.
When I think of that video now, I have to say it breaks my heart because I know there is such anger and animosity directed at the United States from Canada, which I can more than understand. But as you were so kind to remind us Americans of the better angels of our nature, I want to take this opportunity to say a few thank yous to you, Canada, to remind Americans what we have to be so grateful for with our Canadian friends and neighbors. Let me start with the most significant, and that is that Canada, you have stood by our side in practically every war that we have been in. You have fought next to us, you have died next to us, whether it was Canadian soldiers and American soldiers in World War I, or Canadians and Americans in World War II, or Canadians who came to our aid after 9/11 and served side by side with us in Afghanistan and died by our side. Canada, you have been there for us in the most meaningful way possible, that you have put the lives of your sons and daughters on the line for your friends and neighbors out of a shared friendship and out of our shared values. And of that, I am the most grateful. And I wish our president had some recollection of that.
Let's be clear. This isn't just about your president. It's about the 77 million US citizens who gave him the power to do what he's doing. Those same 77 million are the ones parroting his garbage. We don't need anything from Canada. Canada's always taken from us. Canada needs to pay up. We're tired of being taken advantage of by Canada. You can't pretend this is just a Trump issue when tens of millions are standing behind him, repeating every word. So let me ask you this, and really think about it. After everything Canada has done, World War I, World War II, Afghanistan, the Canadian Caper, Operation Yellow Ribbon, the wildfires, the hurricanes, the aid, all of it. How would you feel if our Prime Minister and our people looked at your country and said, you're a burden. You've always taken from us. We don't need you anymore. That's what we're still hearing now, even 2 months after you made this video. And that's why so many Canadians are done listening.
But there is so much else for us to be grateful about our Canadian friends and neighbors, and not just as Americans, but as people of the world. My father was dependent on insulin for most of his adult life. I thank you, Canada, for insulin. And America, if you have anybody you know on insulin, you can thank Canada too. If you're concerned about the Ebola virus spreading, you can thank Canada for an Ebola vaccine. If you have a family member with a pacemaker, thank you, Canada, for pacemakers. If you like PB&J, thank you, Canada, well, at least for the peanut butter. If you thrill to going to an IMAX movie, thank you, Canada, for that amazing technology. If you have been inspired by Captain Kirk to want to boldly go
where no man has gone before,
you can thank Canada. If you're a hockey fan, you can thank Canada for the greatest that ever was.
Wait, this guy? The one standing shoulder to shoulder with Donald Trump? Or how about this shot, sitting right next to Kash Patel, Trump's FBI guy? Or better yet, this same guy who Trump personally endorsed as the next Prime Minister of Canada, while mocking our system by calling it the Governor of Canada? Come on, Adam. This is who you hold up as a symbol of Canadian unity? Bad call. Wayne Gretzky, yeah, the so-called great one, sold out the country he was born in. To me, he's not a Canadian icon anymore. He's just another figure who chose loyalty to power over loyalty to principle.
If you have thrilled to the idiocy of this guy, you can thank Canada. If you like basketball, if you're grateful for the invention of basketball, you can thank Canada. Thank you, Canada, for basketball. If you love music, there is so much to be grateful to Canada for. Can I get a hallelujah on that? So I want to thank you, Canada, for all you've contributed in the fields of art and science and music and film, to all the Nobel Prizes that you've won, for all the inventions that you have produced. I want to thank you for the sacrifices you've made on the battlefield. I want to thank you. And most particular and most recent, I want to thank you for something else. When fires ravaged my hometown of Los Angeles, when they were still burning in Altadena and they were burning in the Palisades, I went to one of the incident command centers, and I had the privilege of serving food to the firefighters who were battling those blazes. And I can't tell you how many of those firefighters were Canadians. And I want to thank you, Canada, for sending those firefighters, many of them from Alberta, to help us battle those blazes. Sadly, I remember one of them asking me, coming back after he had his meal and asking me, do we have to worry about Canada becoming the 51st state? And I said, no, you don't have to worry about that crazy idea, that demeaning idea. But I want to tell you just how grateful I am that your brave firefighters were willing to come down and battle those blazes. And I know I speak for everyone in Southern California, if not all of California, when I say that.
Well, not everyone in California. California might wear blue, but let's not forget, over 6 million Californians still voted for Donald. And quite frankly, I'm sure some of those 6 million don't even know that Canada helped. Now, I do appreciate you recognizing our firefighters. Canada shows up. We help our neighbors. That's who we are. But it stings, because we've been there for California and your country, for wildfires, for emergencies, and the guy running your country turns around and acts like we're the ones taking advantage. That's not just a slap in the face. That's a loss of trust for generations to come.
Now, I know that your Prime Minister has recently said that the relationship between the United States and Canada is over. And it pained me to hear those words, even as I understood the anger behind them. But I hope and have confidence that our relationship is not over, even though it will take time to mend. And I say that because one thing I know about my Canadian friends, and that is through thick and thin, you are the best of neighbors.
Like our Prime Minister said, it's over. Now, maybe it's just me, but there's this quiet little assumption in Adam Schiff's tone that once we've finished being mad, we'll eventually come crawling back. Let me make this clear, Adam. There's a world of difference between slapping tariffs on your trading partner and threatening to erase a country's existence. I'm in my 40s, and for the rest of my life, I will never trust the United States again. Not after the annexation threats, not after the 51st state rhetoric, not after all the insults and looking down at us, and sure as hell not after watching 77 million US citizens cheer it all on. From now on, there will always be that voice in the back of our heads. Watch your back with the US. What's their real motive? And even when Trump is gone, the poison doesn't go with him. That rhetoric? It's stuck now, like a name you're called in school that follows you for life. We might share a border, Adam, but that doesn't mean we have to share trust. And it damn sure doesn't mean we have to be friends. If you found this video helpful, hit like and subscribe to push this message out to more people. Turn on the bell so you never miss a release. And if you're still with me, check out the videos showing on your screen right now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.